You are sitting at a funeral or maybe watching a heartbreaking movie. Everyone around you is a waterfall of emotion, but you feel completely barren. You feel the sadness, the tightening in your chest, and the lump in your throat, yet the tears never arrive. People often assume this dry-eyed reaction indicates either a rare psychological fortitude or a complete lack of empathy. In reality, both assumptions miss the mark. Look at this diagram of the human nervous system. Crying is an autonomic biological function, much like sneezing or shivering. It operates as a strict pressure release valve for your internal emotional system. Even when the emotional pressure is mounting, an internal override keeps that valve shut. Something inside is actively preventing the signal from reaching the surface. This absence of tears indicates a locked system. You are experiencing the full weight of emotional buildup while being cut off from your body's natural method of clearing it. The most common culprit is societal conditioning. Many of us, particularly men, grow up in environments where crying is discouraged. Over time, your brain internalizes this and creates an automatic suppressive reflex. You can see the result in this brain schematic. The sadness remains intact. The brain simply segments it off and locks it away in a basement compartment. The emotion is still there, but the physical expression is blocked. A second factor is physiological burnout. This occurs after you endure prolonged periods of high stress, intense grief, or trauma. This energy meter shows a nervous system in constant alert. Your body drains vital reserves to manage the crisis. Since producing tears requires effort, your brain categorizes crying as a high-energy response. At the red emergency level, it conserves power, taking the crying valve offline. In both conditioning and burnout, your body is making a logical calculation. It overrides the tear reflex to either fit into social norms or to protect your remaining biological energy. For others, the block stems from a fear that once the first tear falls, the flood will become impossible to stop. It feels as though allowing any vulnerability at all will lead to a total, irreversible collapse of your ability to function. It is an exhausting balancing act. You are navigating your daily life on a razor-thin wire over a dark void, where your brain treats a single tear as a fatal gust of wind that will send the whole system plummeting. The final factor is the trauma-induced freeze response. While most focus on fight or flight, the nervous system has a third distinct path. When an emotional signal overloads the processing center, the brain hits the brakes, locking the system into total emotional immobilization. This immobilization is a sophisticated defense mechanism. Your mind is building a wall to protect your psyche from what it perceives to be a catastrophic threat. These deep psychological blocks prove that being unable to cry is a sign that the brain feels so threatened it must immobilize the body just to survive the environment. Reversing this block is about shifting your nervous system from a state of threat to a state of safety. It is a gradual transition, not a forced event. Since crying is a vulnerable act, you must engineer an environment where your body feels secure. Dimming the lights and using specific music signals to your nervous system that it is finally safe to drop its guard. To move past analytical blocks, start with the body and let the mind follow. Emotional stress is physically stored in the neck, shoulders, and chest. Deep, exhausted sighs and gentle movements help to dissolve the tight, concentrated tension in these areas, clearing the physical pathway for release. Because the emotional block is heavily physiological, establishing physical safety is a mandatory step before the mind will authorize any emotional release. If addressing your own pain directly feels impossible, you can use an indirect proxy to move past those mental blocks. Crying for a fictional character or even into a pillow provides a diverted outlet for that internal pressure. This allows the body to release tension without triggering your internal defense mechanisms. Crying functions as a biological catalyst. As shown in this macro view, the release of emotion is what allows the seeds of psychological recovery to finally push through the surface. Choosing to coax out even a small amount of that pent-up emotion is a brave step toward reconnecting with yourself. Your underlying feelings are valid, regardless of whether the floodgates open today.